out my business. Okay.
None of us are making money off of this right now, and I'm keeping us overtime. Someone here has not eaten in over 24 hours. Another person here has to go run a few miles. But that's neither here or there. What we do want to talk about, though, is the situation where we have to be fair and balanced, and that's what we try and do on our show. And there are some people who are definitely, as I like to say, profiteers of the black community. They use their system, their speech, their body, their color to profit off of the community. Hey, and more power to you. For every Candace Owen, there has to be a Dr. Umar. You feel me? And I love this dynamic because as left as he might perceive to be, or how for the people he might perceive to be, we've also seen a very dark version of him where he's just motivated by funds. Hey, get your money, because if we could do it, we probably would too.
We would.
But
we
Eric,
definitely would.
Before we jump into this clip, what is your feelings and thoughts on Dr. Umar?
I think Dr. Umar Johnson, and I use doctor. He does have a doctor, a PhD in psychology.
Yeah, he's a doctor.
He has a PhD. You and I work with the doctors.
We work with MDs, but
we work with real doctors.
We work with medical doctors.
We work with medical doctors. We don't work with philosophical doctors. We don't work with those. I don't know any of those personally, and I don't care to know them because they can't do what medical doctors can do. Anyway, no shade to Umar Johnson, kind of, but not really. He is a clinical psychologist. He definitely knows what he's talking about. He's very, very intelligent, very well informed, but however, he's had some scandals in this time. He's supposed to be building an all-black boy boarding school, and he was trying to raise $2 million, and he's been doing that for almost 10 years, and the school still is not open, and he is still collecting funds. As a matter of fact, the Breakfast Club put a link in their description box, like we put in for the Endurance 24 Challenge, which is happening next Friday. Shameless plug. They dropped the link in there for him. He's still raising money. Where's the money while it's schooling up? Secondly, he got caught out with paying several strippers to perform, sexual acts. That's his prerogative. I got no problem with prostitution. I think prostitution should be legal. Yeah, I do. I mean, anyway, not going into detail on that. That's a whole nother topic for another time. But ultimately, this dude comes off as one of these woke, Afrocentric, boogity boo kind of dudes. He puts on the garb, he puts on the accoutrement, and he comes out and he talks a good game, but is this actually what he practices in his real life? Now, Heero got a hot take from this guy, and me and Heero shared the same opinion of this dude. We think very little of this guy for the obvious reasons, but he actually says something, I won't say profound, something substantial and common sense almost. And so we had to react to it. Heero, let the people know what you think about Dr. Umar Johnson.
For me, it's a very simple equation. It's bullshit divided by action equals to who you really are. And the thing he said and did isn't profound in the sense of how it was said and done. Is actually the context of where it happened, who it's coming from, and the fact that somehow, some way, even though this is all in the back of our minds, as a black community, we've been lulled away into thinking not enough about this. And it's not to any point to anyone else's, a lot of shit has been going on, but this is something that we all should be paying attention to. So let's just get into it, shall we?
Yeah.
President Biden, your first day of office, you signed an executive order to protect the life and safety of transgenders. I have no problem with that. But you did it on your first day. But he sat up here with you, Charlemagne, and told black people that if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. So if you went out of your way begging black people to vote for you, why haven't we got an executive order or any other activity coming out of the Oval Office from President Biden to protect black people from police?
I agree.
Look what he's doing with the anti-Asian hate. President Joe Biden signed an executive order that is exclusive to Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders. I don't have a problem with that.
And I'm going to stop right here. And the fact that he says, I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with another group who's experiencing suffrage, minimalization, scrutiny, discrimination, terrorism. We don't have a problem with Asian people, Asian American people getting that love. And if you are a person who is using the Asian community to bolster your own trauma, you're pathetic.
Yeah.
You are pathetic. Like, an injustice anywhere is an injustice everywhere. Who fucking said that? If we as black people aren't smart enough to realize that once whoever is being bullied is done being bullied, that they're going to come back to us, then we got the game all messed up. So I just wanted to say that people who use that talking point, I can't believe that Asian people are getting bills and stuff passed, but we're not getting stuff passed. Like, are you mad at the Asian people for being abused, or are you mad at the people who are abusing you?
I think it's a little bit deeper than that. I think to the point that you made about they're being upset that Asian people are getting bills passed. The reason why Asian people, Jews, Hispanics, any other group of people in this country are going to get things passed, number one, is because a lot of people in this country don't like you. Number two, they probably have reason not to like you. You may not agree with it or not, but again, there's the images that are allowed to be put on TV about TV and social media when it comes to the hue of your skin.
When the president is calling something the China virus, you have to, as an American government, come back and say something against it, because the head honcho at one point was saying this. So it's deafening for us not to respond.
It's about the rhetoric that is being put out there. So you have to, number one, control the images you allow to be portrayed about who we are as a group of people. Secondly, if you do not have an economy wherewith you could potentially threaten the livelihood of some other people group or hinder the advancement of a people group or oppress a people group, no one's gonna care about you. That's just what it is. Unfortunately, black people, we have so much infighting going on that we're not paying attention, that we're not building an economy. That's a whole nother conversation for another day. But Dr. Umar Johnson made a very valid point that these people there's nothing wrong with a bill being passed for them, but comparing the quote unquote suffering of these people to the quote unquote suffering of black folks is absolutely asinine. Yeah. But Heero, continue.
But if you can protect the Asian American and Pacific Islander from violence, why can't you do the same thing for black people? They've been dealing with violence for 1 year as a result of COVID. That's what it's called, the COVID-19 Hate Crimes Bill, to protect Asians as a result of discriminatory treatment that they've been dealing with for how long? 1 year.
And this is also not true.
Have been catching hell for 400 years, and we have yet to get an executive order from Joe Biden to protect us from the police. So can I ask you a question? If the Senate was able to pass the anti-Asian hate crimes bill, Charlemagne and Envy, 96-1 with almost no opposition, why is it that the Emmett Till lynching bill still has not been approved? Why is it that there have been over 200 different anti-lynching bills introduced in the U.S. Congress? 200! And not one of them has been approved by the U.S. Congress yet. But the first ever Asian bill goes through on the first try. Look at the racism. Look at the discrimination. Look at the bias. Look at the inequity there. And why are they catering to the Asians? You know why? Because the amount of white people in this country is shrinking.
That's right.
And whenever the amount of white people in America shrinks, America looks to find other white groups or other minority groups that they can build an alliance with to protect their power and their interests. Who better than the Asians? They're just as conservative politically as many middle-class white Americans. They are just as
there's a lot of he's saying here, and Umar has the ability to make because he speaks with passion, people mistake that for intelligence or accuracy. That doesn't mean anything past the words being assembled or reassembled. Because if you take any of the statements he says and reverse them, they all of a sudden don't make sense. For example, he said white people population is shrinking, so they look for substitute white people. I want to remind you that at one point they were literally telling other Italian, Irish, or people from the UK, British proper. Remember, those were Europeans who came here who just didn't want to pay taxes and follow that religion guideline. So they'll discriminate against you for anything. They don't really care about your skin color, and that's something that you have to understand.
But another thing that he's not pointing out is something that's very clear. There is 100 million white women in this country. 101. There's 99 million white men in this country. Now, some of the way that they classify white, they used to classify Hispanic as white in the 70s, 80s. They made this on classification. They do the same thing for Northern Africans. Northern Africans who come here, let's say from Egypt, are classified as white. But they're such a minority, it doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. We're talking about the Anglo-Saxon and Caucasoid people who live in this country are 200 million. So no, their numbers aren't decreasing. They're marrying at a higher rate. They're reproducing at the same rate as any other group of people here, and our birth rates are on decline. So no, they're not. Their numbers aren't shrinking on a global scale, absolutely, but in America, no, because the dominant presence here is a Caucasian Anglo-Saxon presence. So again, for him to be so intelligent, to have a PhD, and for him not to go to the CDC to find this information, which I had readily available in my mind because I go there at least once a month to find data and statistics, is appalling and is intellectually dishonest. Secondly, to say that Asians have been suffering in this country for a year, I can't speak to the sufferings of Asians. That's so but stupid. Again, we can go back to 1950 Japanese internment camps. Exactly. So does that equate to what black people have been experiencing in this country? Absolutely not. But they have about 70 to 80 years. The thing is that they've overcome that by having a strong culture, family structure,
and also getting reparations for that. And getting reparations for that.
They got reparations for that, but they still held on to their culture. They built an economy. They had a nest egg or a seed money wherewith they could establish an economy. And to his point, yes, black folks haven't got at that, but black folks have plenty of opportunities in this country. And it can't be the man's keeping me down all the time. Quit waiting on Joe Biden to do something. Is he making good points about Joe? Absolutely. But we can't wait anymore. We can't wait on these people.
And that's why Joe Biden needs to be a one-term president. But let's push forward.
Economically comfortable as many middle-class white Americans. They don't like black people just as much as many middle-class white Americans.
And that's also
Not to mention
negative.
that this can go a long way towards building relationships with Asian countries on the continent of Asia that America can't afford to build an alliance with Russia. Let us be clear about something. The continent of Asia is a big problem for the U.S. government. You got 3 power nations on that continent. You got Russia, that America can't stand. You got China, that America can't control. And you got India, which is one of the fastest growing populations, and it is quickly becoming the IT giant of the world. Kamala Harris is not the vice president by accident. Kamala Harris is the vice president on purpose because America needed to send the nation of India an olive branch to improve their relations because America can't afford for India to get tight with China or Russia. This is politics. And they're going to use the Asians, okay, as probationary whites. They're going to upgrade them to probationary white status to make sure that they stay on the side of the white man and not go on the side of the black man. This Asian agenda is a distraction from the issues that are affecting black people. How do you sign an executive order for the transgenders, executive orders for the...
And I'll stop him here because, once again, this is him going on a rant and rave. If you guys follow this channel, you clearly remember the ups and downs of our political race. There's no way you could plan that out. Like the primary, as much as the conspiracy, oh my God, they picked the puppets and stuff like that. Joe Biden was literally seconds away from losing until Iowa fucked up their primaries. Kamala Harris was literally beating him at one point. And whether you acknowledge, of course you acknowledge her Asian descent, Kamala Harris is black. And it's a lot easier to pick someone who's already attained a high power on the ballot. She's the highest ranking official. So it was a no-brainer to pick her as VP. Also, you want the black vote, right? You better bring Auntie up there.
They could have kept Auntie.
Agents, he has signed nothing for black people. And mind you, Envy and Charlemagne, there have been at least 5 notable police terrorism cases
he's a talking head.
on Joe Biden's watch. You had the 16-year-old sister who was shot 4 or 5 times with the knife. And I don't want nobody to tell me that the police would justify.
We're going to get to that.
Okay, I got you. But the 5, her. And then you have
still going.
Officer Nazario, the African Latino brother who was harassed by the police in his car.
The lieutenant.
You had the brother, 17-year-old boy, murdered by the police in the bathroom in Knoxville, Tennessee.
Anthony Thompson Jr.
The other brother in Elizabeth City, North Carolina, who was shot in the execution of a warrant. And I'm missing some. Oh, Dante Wright, who was murdered, and she thought it was a taser. Tasers don't look like guns. Tasers don't feel like guns. They don't weigh the same as guns. And there's no way under heaven you accidentally thought a taser was a gun. But again, 5 cases, and the president still has not acted. The same president that told the Breakfast Club that if you black and don't vote for me, you ain't black. Well, why haven't you done anything for black?
And that right there, for me, like, kind of solidified. When you get through all the bullshit and all the noise, ultimately what comes down to, he draws a very valid point, very valid question, Eric, which is, Joe Biden, what have you done for us lately? We got you to this position. I know the world's been burning down. I know everything's been going on. What have you done for us lately? What's one thing Joe Biden can do to effectively quell some of this backlash?
I have a word that's 3 letters long that I can't say because Joe Biden's the president. But what he could do, honestly, I really don't. I'm gonna be perfectly honest. There's nothing that Joe Biden can do.
I mean, he's the president of the United States. He has power. He could do something. If there's something you wanted to see him do, what would it be? Like, let us not.
If there was something I would want to see Joe Biden do. For black people.
Yeah. If we had the platform, let's use our platform accordingly. Because too often in our universe, we hear people talk about the problem, but never about the issue. I mean, the solution. So as a solution,
there's several things that I would want. I would want school choice. I would want safer communities, and I have a way to do that. That's probably not in line with most people, but yes, that. And then honestly, absolute support, small SBA loans for small black-owned businesses. That's what I would want to see immediately. But school choice would be absolutely better healthcare. Honestly, universal healthcare would be the best, and ultimately making sure that there was priority for the underserved communities in this country. Leave a private option so that people who have money can go get a private option, can go see a private physician, and not back up the actual federal or state system for those who are usually underserved and underprivileged in the healthcare system.
Honestly, for me, the one thing that I wanted to, and like what Eric is bringing up is practical. It's practical for a large group of people. But I think something that even draws more to the corner, as much as we give tax breaks and all this bullshit to the rich and the top 1%, black people make up 13% of the country, which is a fraction of that 1% population. For the next 5 years, give those black people a tax cut, tax deduction. Don't have to pay taxes.
No, zero taxes.
Zero taxes if you want to go extreme. I say zero federal taxes for sure, and then give a clause for the states.
No state taxes either.
The thing that's crazy about wealth equity is that the real equity is the 0.0092% interest I'm gaining off of $4,000 invested in a stock. It's the annual interest. It's the dividends. It's the stuff you don't see. It's the stuff you don't want to count. It's the boring numbers on an Excel spreadsheet that we talk about on Fridays. That is something Joe Biden could effectively do. That is something Joe Biden could push in. The fact that he has control of the House and Senate right now, and in 2 years that might not be a thing, because the census today told us that Texas got 2 states, two additional Illinois lost one, and this is part of the big plan. This is why you have to be careful about the people you elect, because in the Trump administration they underrepresented the number on purpose, because we were in the middle of a pandemic when he wanted to push those numbers. So is this the most dramatic change we've seen? No. But is this the most significant change we've seen for what's to come? And after seeing what Ted Cruz did to his homeboys and his people, do you really want two more of those? Go. You really want 2 more of those people out there? But like ultimately,
vote Heero and Eric into those seats. That's what you should do.
Don't tempt me with a good time, goddammit.
Hey, bro, listen. Me and Heero in those 2 seats. Listen, we would clean house. Y'all already know.
The thing
vote
that
Heero
you
and
want
Eric 2022.
The thing you want to remember when just dealing and talking about these situations is, one, remember what position you're arguing from. Because even 2 people suffering, someone still has leverage. Umar is a person who has the luxury to talk on the Breakfast Club, where this statement about being black came from. You know, that this generated it. But he still has a moral obligation to speak truth to power. And that's not what he was doing here. What he was doing is a talking piece moment. Hey, make your money, bro. Make your money. But it's important for you to be able to look at these conversations intellectually. I don't know, Eric. If you don't got nothing else for this, where they can find us?
Man, they can find us right here. But if you find us here, best believe that me and Heero are going to keep it 100% G with y'all. We're not going to come in here and act like a talking head. We're not going to gaslight you or gas you up to make you think anything other of the situation than what it is. We're obviously not here for money. We just here for likes and clicks, bro. So when you come here, expect to get 100% real. And if you're on YouTube and you're trying to figure out where else you can find us, go right hit that link tree. You can find us over on TikTok at The Identity Booth. You can find us on IG at The Identity Booth. You can find us on Facebook at The Identity Booth. You can find us on Spotify and et cetera, et cetera. Make sure you hit that link tree. Hit the hearts, hit the subscribe buttons, hit the notification bells, turn them to all. Then go in our description section. 10 days from today, we are hosting a 24-hour live stream, the Endurance 24 Challenge, 24 miles, 24 hours. 2 teachers, Thornton Fractional North High School, where Nafi and Heero matriculated in their teenage years, raising $20K for some graduating seniors for college, university, vocational school, and or entrepreneurship. So make sure you go down, put some in the collection plate, let them know The Identity Booth sent you, and we will greatly appreciate it. And I'm sure those seniors. And if you hop on the stream, the 24-hour stream, not only will we be talking to Aldenberg and Russo out in the field, we also have a talent show. So come out, support the youngsters, give them your love, support, and encouragement. And if not, we'll see you back right here on this channel, on Twitch and or YouTube on Tuesday around 6-ish.
Yeah. Hey, appreciate you guys. Take care of yourself. Put on your goddamn mask. Maybe. If you want to. CDC says you don't have to. Let's figure out why. Next topic.
Slow it down and we can catch the vibe. But it's so hard to find through the daily grind. Been working overtime. And I'm sleep deprived. Shorty on my line and we fuss and fight. Seems like every night. Don't care who's wrong or right. I hope the end is sight. Slow it down and we